Feeling lost rarely arrives all at once. It creeps in quietly through ordinary days until one morning it feels like life belongs to somebody else. The routine still happens, work gets done, conversations continue, bills get paid. From the outside, everything appears normal. Inside, something feels disconnected. A strange emptiness grows between who you are and how you are living. The first instinct is usually to search outside yourself for an answer. A different job, a different city, a relationship, more money, another goal. Those things can change your circumstances, yet they rarely solve the deeper problem. Feeling lost is often less about lacking direction and more about losing contact with yourself. Somewhere along the journey, your decisions slowly became guided by fear, expectation, or survival instead of honesty. The antidote begins the moment you stop asking what life wants from you and start asking what parts of yourself have been ignored for far too long. A painful truth deserves attention here. Staying busy can become the perfect hiding place. Every hour gets filled, so there is never enough silence for difficult questions to appear. The calendar stays full. Notifications never stop. Entertainment fills every quiet evening. Productivity becomes another distraction. None of this looks unhealthy on the surface, which makes it dangerous. Constant movement creates the illusion of progress, while the deeper questions remain untouched. One day turns into another, and months disappear without a single honest conversation about where your life is actually heading. Slowing down feels uncomfortable because stillness exposes what endless activity keeps hidden. The discomfort is not the problem. The discomfort is the invitation. It points toward the very place where healing begins. Somewhere along the way, many lives become collections of borrowed goals. Success starts looking like whatever earned applause from family, friends, or society. Careers get chosen for security instead of meaning. Relationships continue out of habit instead of connection. Dreams quietly disappear because they sound unrealistic compared to what everyone else expects. Living someone else's definition of success creates exhaustion that sleep can never fix. Deep inside, part of you always knows when your life is being performed instead of lived. Every morning carries a subtle resistance. Every achievement feels strangely empty because it belongs to a version of yourself created to satisfy other people. Honest reflection slowly breaks this pattern by separating your voice from the countless opinions surrounding it. Fear becomes surprisingly creative whenever change enters the conversation. It rarely announces itself directly. Instead, it disguises itself as practicality. Stay where it's safe. Wait until everything is certain. Give it another year. Keep everyone happy. Those thoughts sound reasonable, which is exactly why they become convincing. Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers in a calm voice that sounds like wisdom. Learning the difference takes patience. Real caution protects your future. Fear protects familiarity. Familiarity often keeps you standing inside situations that quietly drain your spirit. Every meaningful chapter begins when familiar discomfort stops feeling safer than unfamiliar possibility. Betrayal has a strange habit of making life feel directionless. Trust gets broken, and suddenly every future relationship becomes harder to believe in. A promise falls apart, and hope quietly loses its strength. Pain from one experience begins influencing situations that have nothing to do with the original wound. Healing asks for something difficult. Separate the lesson from the identity. Being hurt does not make you permanently broken. Being disappointed does not mean disappointment is your future. Pain should become information, not a permanent address. Every difficult experience has something to teach, yet none of them deserve the power to decide who you become next. Silence carries medicine that constant noise cannot provide. Spend enough time alone without distractions, and patterns begin revealing themselves naturally. Certain memories keep returning for a reason. Certain regrets refuse to disappear because they are asking for attention instead of avoidance. Many answers already exist inside your own experience. They simply remain buried beneath endless opinions, entertainment, and comparison. Solitude often feels uncomfortable at first, because your own thoughts become impossible to escape. Stay there long enough, and something changes. The mind slowly becomes less chaotic. Clarity replaces confusion. Your own voice becomes easier to recognize after years of competing with everyone else's. Control returns through ordinary choices instead of dramatic transformations. Wake up when you said you would. Keep a promise made to yourself. Finish something before starting another project. Eat in a way that respects your body instead of punishing it. Speak honestly even when honesty feels awkward. These actions appear small, yet they quietly rebuild trust with yourself. Feeling lost often includes the belief that life is happening to you. Personal responsibility changes that belief without creating unnecessary guilt. Every healthy choice becomes proof that your future is still being shaped one decision at a time. Confidence grows from evidence, not from wishful thinking. Another trap appears when your worth becomes tied to constant achievement. Every goal reached creates another one waiting immediately afterward. Rest begins feeling undeserved. Satisfaction never lasts because the finish line keeps moving. A life built entirely around accomplishment eventually forgets how to appreciate simple existence. Peace disappears while chasing the next milestone. Growth matters, yet growth without gratitude becomes another form of emotional starvation. Looking around and recognizing what already exists does not kill ambition. It gives ambition a healthier foundation. Building a meaningful future becomes much easier when the present is no longer treated as something to escape. Inner power is often misunderstood. It is not loud confidence. It is not dominating conversations. It is not proving doubters wrong every single day. Genuine strength appears through consistency. Remaining calm while emotions demand impulsive action. Walking away from disrespect instead of begging for understanding. Admitting mistakes without attacking yourself. Protecting your peace without becoming cold. Every one of those decisions strengthens your relationship with yourself. Once that relationship improves, outside chaos loses much of its influence because your stability no longer depends on circumstances staying perfect. Returning to yourself rarely feels exciting in the beginning. It feels unfamiliar. After years of adjusting your personality to fit different rooms, different friendships, different workplaces, and different expectations, authenticity can almost feel like speaking a language you haven't used in years. At first, the mind searches for approval out of habit. Every decision still carries the old question, will this disappoint someone? Slowly, another question begins replacing it. Does this feel honest? That simple shift changes everything. Living honestly does not guarantee comfort. Honest living often creates uncomfortable conversations, unexpected distance, and difficult choices. Yet every truthful decision removes another layer that never truly belonged to you. One day, the reflection in the mirror begins feeling familiar again, not because life became easier, but because the person looking back is finally real instead of carefully constructed for everyone else's approval. Childhood quietly plants many beliefs long before you are old enough to question them. Some came from family, some came from teachers, others came from friends who were just as confused as everyone else. Certain lessons helped you grow. Others taught fear disguised as wisdom. Stay quiet. Don't upset people. Success looks one specific way. Failure defines your worth. Those ideas settle deep into the mind simply because they were repeated often enough. Growing older offers a rare opportunity. Every belief can be examined instead of automatically obeyed. Ask where each belief came from. Ask whether it still serves the life you actually want. Many invisible chains disappear the moment you realize they were never chosen consciously in the first place. Digital life adds another layer that quietly shapes identity without asking permission. Every scroll introduces another opinion about health, money, relationships, appearance, happiness, productivity, or success. One creator insists waking before sunrise is the answer. Another claims balance matters more. One promises wealth through endless work. Another says slow living is the secret. Hours pass collecting advice from strangers, while your own experience receives almost no attention. Information is valuable until it replaces observation. No algorithm understands your life better than your own lived experience. Wisdom gathered from outside should become material for reflection, not instructions that erase independent thought. Otherwise, your identity slowly becomes a collection of borrowed conclusions stitched together from people who have never lived a single day in your shoes. Comparison quietly rewrites your standards without making any announcement. Suddenly, an ordinary life feels insufficient because someone else appears happier, richer, stronger, or more successful through a carefully edited screen. What used to bring satisfaction begins feeling average. Gratitude fades while chasing an image that was never fully real to begin with. A peaceful evening loses value because someone else posted an expensive holiday. Steady progress feels meaningless because another person announced a huge achievement. Constant comparison keeps your attention pointed outward instead of inward. Returning to yourself requires reclaiming your attention. Attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Wherever it goes long enough, your identity quietly follows. Another layer worth removing is the habit of measuring yourself through other people's reactions. Praise feels incredible. Criticism feels devastating. Silence becomes frightening. Living this way hands emotional control to circumstances that change every single day. Approval is unpredictable because every person sees the world through different experiences, different fears, and different expectations. Waiting for unanimous acceptance is like chasing a horizon that moves every time you take another step. Self-respect grows through a different process. It asks whether your actions matched your values, not whether everyone agreed with them. That distinction creates remarkable freedom. Decisions become calmer once your conscience becomes a stronger guide than public opinion. Many spend years performing a version of themselves that earns acceptance while quietly starving the real person underneath. Smiling when exhausted, agreeing while feeling uncomfortable, laughing at jokes that cross personal boundaries, staying in conversations that leave you feeling smaller. Performance can become so familiar that authenticity starts feeling selfish. Honest living exposes that illusion. A respectful disagreement is healthier than fake agreement. A sincere no carries more integrity than a resentful yes. Relationships built on performance require constant maintenance. Relationships built on honesty allow room to breathe without pretending every day.